So my name is Damian Smyth, and I'm an Environmental Health Officer in the Environmental Health Service, and I'm responsible for the import control of foods of non-animal origin, Dublin Port. Today I'm going to briefly discuss TRACES.net and CHED common errors we have encountered over the last 10 months in the HSE, and I hope this presentation will be of benefit to some participants who join us today. So the HSE are responsible for foods of non-animal origin, and foods which require additional controls such as nuts and spices shall be accompanied by a CHED. Part 1 of the CHED is submitted by operators responsible for the consignment, and the purpose of the CHED is to pre-notify the competent authority, in this case the HSE, of the arrival of the consignment. Prior notification of 1 working day before arrival of the consignment is required, as pointed out earlier by David. So consignments are subject to 100% documentary checks, and prior notification will result in timely and effective performance of official controls. So since January, we moved to a 24/7 service to facilitate trade, and documents received will be dealt with in a timely manner. The HSE will carry out identity and physical checks, including sampling and analysis, at frequencies laid out in specific pieces of legislation, such as Regulation 2019/1793. Once the CHED is created, it can be forwarded to Import Control Dublin at hse.ie or Import Control Rosslare at hse.ie, along with the H1 and accompanying documents. Including details such as the MRN, PPN and trailer number will help increase the efficiency of CHED and consignment processing. Determining if a CHED is required is one of the most important aspects, and the HSE have formulated a guide number 2, which includes all foods subject to additional controls. Regulations in the guide include 2019/1793, which details temporary increased controls due to known or emerging risks, and the guide also includes emergency measures including rice from China, food from Japan post-Fukushima, and food from certain countries post-Chernobyl. So the example on the right shows rice from China, with Appendix 1 detailing specific CN codes subject to additional controls. The hazard in this case is unauthorized GM rice, with identity and physical checks set at 100%. Documents required in this case is a CHED, lab report and health certificate. Within 2019/1793, the HSE are only concerned with products with a hazard of aflatoxin, salmonella, sulfites, sedan dyes and cyanide. Pesticide residues are the responsibility of DAFM, as pointed out by Joseph, and will be inputted under a different BCP on the CHED, which I will explain later. 2019/1793 is amended every 6 months, and a trader notice and update to guide number 2 is sent to our mailing list. So if you wish to be added, please email Import Control Dublin or Import Control Rosslare at hse.ie. So this example is for the import of peanut butter from Bolivia into the EU. The below questions will help determine if a product is subject to additional controls, and the EU Commission portal can also be used to assist. So is peanut butter from Bolivia additionally controlled? So as you can see below, peanut butter comes under Annex 1 of Regulation 2019/1793. The CN code to be submitted is 2008-1110, and in this case there's no tariff subdivision applicable. Import documentation required for this product and all other Annex 1 products is a CHED, and this should be submitted on TRACES.net under BCP IEW 4D-HSE for Dublin Seaport and IE ROS1-HSE for Rosslare Seaport. Common errors here would be the operator responsible for the consignment not completing the CHED, which delays the performance of official controls. EHOs will check CN codes and tariff codes very closely and will be aware of food products subject to additional controls. The next example is for the import of mixtures of nuts or dried fruits containing pistachios from Turkey. So these products fall under Annex 2 of Regulation 2019/1793. As you can see below, the tariff codes to be used in this case is one of the 3. And again, the European Commission's portal can be used to help classify the product. Import documentation required in this case is a CHED, official certificate and results of sampling and analysis. Just to note, official certificates are valid during 4 months from the date of issue, but in any case no longer than 6 months from the date of lab results. Common errors here would be the operator responsible for the consignment not submitting the full 10-digit tariff code when adding a commodity to Part 1 of the CHED-D or the H1. Other common errors here would be failure to submit a valid official certificate and sampling and analysis, which will result in trucks being delayed in the port or detention of the product. So this example is compound foods, and compound foods are foods that contain more than one ingredient and are formed through processing. This example looks at dark chocolate coated peanuts from India. So for a start, if the peanuts from India were imported as shelled peanuts, they would fall under Annex 2, Table 1, and require a CHED-D official certificate and sampling and analysis as per the previous example. However, the peanuts have been changed to a compound product and now fall under Annex 2, Table 2, as seen below. So the questions to ask when importing a compound food is, does the compound food contain any food listed in Annex 2, Table 1? So in this case, they do. The groundnuts are from Annex 2, Table 1. Due to a risk of aflatoxins, so in this case there's risk of aflatoxins. In a quantity above 20%, in this case it's 80%, and falling within the CN code laid down in Table 2, Annex 2. And again, the answer is yes. So the tariff code to be used in this case is EX1806. And again, the European Commission portal can be used to assist in classifying the product. Import documentation required in this case is the CHED-D, official certificate, and results of sampling and analysis. Common errors here would be not including the ingredients list, official cert, or sampling and analysis, which results in delays or detention of the product. In order to increase efficiency of official controls, operators responsible for the consignment can submit an ingredients list to the HSE, including country of origin and CN or tariff code, along with accompanying documents. So this slide shows common errors we have seen over the last 10 months, and some participants online may have come across these. So the first box is very simple, so it's customs document reference, and this is where you input the MRN number. Box I.4 is the border control post, and this is the most important aspect on the CHED. So if you don't put in the correct BCP here, then DAFM or the HSE will not receive the CHED. So if you wish to send a CHED-D to the HSE, you input IE DUB D/HSE. So I.6, in this box, it must be a consignee and it must have a company registered in the EU. I.7 is the place of destination, and this is the delivery destination after the consignment leaves the port. I.9 is where you can put your accompanying documents. So if it falls within Annex 1 of Regulation 2019 of 1793, a commercial document should be put here. If it's a document, the official certificate and results of sampling and analysis. I.10 is where the estimated date and time on which the consignment is expected to arrive should go. So I.13, so ensure here that the correct means of transport is put in, i.e. the trailer number. So I.18, the HSE are only concerned with human consumption, so if it's feedstuff, it would fall under DAFM. If you wish to send the PDF of the CHED to the HSE, once you've submitted the CHED-D, go down to the bottom of the page and click Preview PDF, PDF certificate, and this will allow you to send it across. If you wish to create a number of CHED-Ds, once you submit the first one, you can go down to the bottom of the page and click More and Copy as New, and this will copy across most of the details, bar a few fields such as commodity codes. All entries on the CHED-D can be amended while the CHED is new, so please ensure the H1 info matches the CHED-D. So temporary storage facilities. There are ongoing risks being identified on commodities being imported into Ireland and the EU from GB through TSF, so for example, courier companies. These are required to be controlled by the HSE due to risk prioritisation and regulatory requirements, which require paperwork or physical exams to enter the EU. So these should be declared in advance of arrival at the BCP, as consignments may require a CHED-D, official cert, sampling and analysis, or for plastics, a declaration of compliance or emission certificates. So common errors seen recently for plastics is baby bottles being submitted as tariff code 3924-1020, which is the tariff code for polycarbonate infant feeding bottles. If the baby bottle does not contain polycarbonate, it should be declared under 3924-1090. and accompanied with a declaration of compliance, emission certificates, or product specification. So all TSFs are welcome to discuss with the HSE if commodities require control on the below details. So this slide gives some useful information. So it gives all the HSE's border control posts. For anyone that hasn't registered on Traces yet, you can email any of the above email addresses, and we can send an aid memo to help with the registering on Traces. So thanks for listening, and feel free to ask any questions in the Q&A. Thank you.